Hello real estate investors, I am down at the 12 unit and we have yet another turnover down here. If you watch my channel, you'll remember I just did the turnover down there. I think it was last month. So let's go in, I'll show you how the tenant left the place. That's part of the problem with these little small units. They're 400 square feet and they are about the cheapest rent in town. I rent these for $675 now. But the turnover is just a lot worse than it is at what I'll call my normal size units. So keep that in mind. If you're buying some small apartments, you may have a little more turnover. This tenant didn't do a lot of physical, what I'll call physical damage, but he has caused a lot of damage from smoking in here. So I'm going to be running the ozone machine in here every evening when I leave, try to get rid of the smell. Also going to have to go over these ceilings. I don't know if you can tell, but they're yellow in here. The ceiling in this room and the bedroom is not horrible. I think I can just go over it with either oil-based Kills or Zinsser Ben primer, the shellac-based primer, and I think it'll be okay in here. In the bathroom, definitely going to have to clean that before we go over it. And on primer's a flat white, so there's really no need to do a top coat. I've done it in the past, but the primer will be just fine. Just use that, and that can be your top coat. In here, the refrigerator is yellowed up, same thing as the dishwasher. So we have a white refrigerator and a little yellow on it from smoke. Same thing with the dishwasher, black stove, and I think this has always been beige. They were in the other units, so anyhow, I'm going to replace it out and at least get us down to where we don't have 3 different colors of appliances in here. Refrigerator, he cleaned it out, all his stuff out. He didn't clean it at all. So that's going to need a good cleaning. And someone has used the countertop as a cutting board. Not a good plan with laminate countertops. We'll do the outlets and switches like we did in the last one. It's just cheap and pretty easy to do, and it makes the place look a whole lot better. I don't think the baseboards are going to clean up, so we'll probably have to paint all those. New blinds, and as always, these windows are broke, so I'll get my window guy to come over here. It's actually a part to the window right there. Both of them are the same way, neither of them will stay up. In here, the water heater, same as the last one. I looked at the date back here on the side, and it's a 15-year-old, so I'm probably going to go ahead and replace that. It's just so much easier before it's an emergency and you have a tenant in here. Plus, this thing is covered in nicotine in here. So once I get that out, I can clean these walls down and paint them. I'm sure there's a lot of smell coming from there, cigarette smell. Bathroom, normal stuff, missing a stopper, missing the drain cover. Tub's not horrific, but definitely needs a good cleaning. And then here's the ceilings I was telling you about. You can see how bad the nicotine is on these. So definitely going to need to clean those before we prime them. In the bedroom, that ceiling fan is starting to show its age, so I'm not going to put another ceiling fan in. And they're just a service call waiting to happen, so I'm just going to put a regular boob light in here. Hopefully it brightens this place up a little bit. Same thing on the window, new blind. Get the window guy to fix this. And then one of the worst things in here, and the tenant didn't do this, but some of these have, or all of them had attic access at one time, but it looks like somebody at some point has patched this, took the attic access out and did a horrific patch. I honestly don't know what I'm going to do, if I'm going to cut this out or try to just fix this patch. I may just cut it out and put access back in, because I can't match the pattern on these ceilings very well. I can do better than that, but you can never really match it perfectly, so probably look best if I just cut that out and put the attic access back in. So we'll see what I do there. But anyhow, that's the tour of the before. Stick around and I'll show you how it looked, show you the after. So it took me about a week, but I finally got it finished up, so let's go ahead and take a look. The best thing when you walk inside, you don't smell cigarette smoke. So to get rid of the cigarette smoke, I primed the ceiling, painted the walls, painted the baseboards, and I also ran ozone in here every night for about a half an hour after I'd leave. Ozone does a pretty good job getting rid of the smoke smells, or other smells for that matter. Sometimes I feel like you may get a different odor, like a burnt plastic sometimes from them, but overall they do a pretty good job of masking odor. You just do not want to be running that while you're inside, so that's why I turn it on when I leave, and I don't come back in the property the next day, and then I try to leave the doors open and let it air out for a little while. For the ceiling primer, if you watch my videos in the past, I've either used an oil-based Kills or a Zinsser shellac-based primer, and those work great. But the bad thing about those, they smell so bad. So I'm testing out Kills Restoration, which is a water-based primer, and it doesn't have the smell of those other two. I've used it in the past to cover up like marker on the wall, and it worked good, but I've never used it to cover up nicotine. But it seemed to cover it up. Now, you didn't get a perfect finish. I don't know if you can see that, but you know, I think it covered the nicotine, and it either needed a second coat of primer, or probably better to use a much cheaper ceiling paint and just go over it. I think it would have had a real nice coverage in, but it's much improved over what it was before. So I asked my clean lady to try to get this yellow off the fridge, and apparently she was unsuccessful. I'm going to try to do that real quick because I kind of have this place rented. There's a lease over there. So some people would call me wanting an apartment, and I sent them the link to my website, show them the pictures, and they said they'd take it. I did a credit background check on them. That all passed. But I wanted them to see it before that we actually signed the lease. So I told them, I award you the apartment, but you're fine to walk away once you see it. So they're coming here in just a few minutes. I'm going to show it to them, and I'll try to let you know at the end if they took it or not. Either way, it won't be a big deal because there's so much demand in our area. I'll get it rented. I didn't replace the countertops. Let me know what you think in the comments. Would you have replaced these countertops because of that? I just feel like sometimes you got to pick your battles in these things. You can't replace everything. I did replace the range hood, and I also put a new water heater in here. Now these apartments, they don't have expansion tanks on them. I added them. I just feel like they're good insurance in case the city makes some kind of change, but didn't have it. I probably could have got by without putting one on, but I went ahead and did it anyhow. In here in the bath, I did clean the ceiling in the bathroom with TSP before I primed it. It came out really good. I cleaned up the tub, and that's really about all. I put the new drain in, the little, that's held on a little caulk, the drain cover. Fix the sink here. And then inside the bedroom, I ended up taking a random orbit sander and sanding that patch down. You can see my patch. What I did, I tried to match the texture, and you can see that in mine. It's not the same. It's better, a lot better than what was there. You can't ever really get these patches perfectly match the pattern of the old drywall perfectly, but much better than what was there. But of course, I had the window guy fix the windows, replace the blinds, and that's about it. I just noticed the clean lady missed drywall mud on the door. I'll have to get that cleaned off. So I'll let you guys know if they took the apartment or not, so stick around. So guys, it's the next day. I'm down here mowing. I was too exhausted to film anything after that ordeal, so it was an hour and a half. It's a young couple, really nice young couple, but it was their first apartment, so he inspected every inch of the property. And then his dad, after he got done, his dad showed up and he inspected every inch of the property. So after that, I was asking him, "Hey, we good to go here?" And the girl said, "No, my dad's still on his way. He's going to inspect the property." So he came, inspected every inch of the property. But at the end of the day, they ended up taking it, and now I'm 100% occupied at all my properties, and hopefully don't have any turns coming soon. But thank you guys for watching. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments below, and I'll see you on the next one.